Audrey. So today I'm in Hawaii right now, checking out my unit, and checking on it, see how things are going. I'm also here with clients looking at some new investment properties for them, so short-term rental stuff. And my question today is, what kind of financing options do investors have when it comes to, say, like a condo hotel building?
Yeah, well, first of all, aloha, because I'm so jealous you're in Hawaii right now. You're so dedicated flying all around helping your clients buy investment properties. I absolutely love
Absolutely.
it. Yes, taking advantage of it. So there's a lot of options. I would say most people that are looking to buy an investment property, most people always want to go for what the best thing that they could qualify, which is your normal
Right.
conventional programs, right?
Mhm.
But I will say when people have all their expenses, even on their first primary home, going to look to buy an investment property, now you're adding on a whole other mortgage. And so a lot of people don't qualify conventionally, right? Especially if they have no rental income experience. So there's several different options. So we'll look to see if somebody qualifies to get a normal rate with a conventional loan. If they don't qualify, if their debts compared to their income is too high, then there's a couple different options like a DSCR loan. So that's basically like a debt service loan. And that really just means we're not going to look at your income. We're not going to look at your tax returns. You don't even have to show that you qualify to take on that debt. What we're looking for is the rent going to cover the mortgage expense? Because that's the whole purpose of a rental property. You
Right.
know, you don't have to be able to afford both mortgages. If the whole purpose of buying this investment property is so that you can get rental income to offset that as you're building equity and somebody else is paying off that mortgage, then you're good to go. So that's how we qualify somebody. So there's also bank statement loans. So if let's say if the rent doesn't cover the mortgage, if you're self-employed and you're showing money coming into your business, even if you pay taxes on that or have other expenses, then as long as you're showing the cash that you make on your bank statements, we could just use your bank statements to qualify you. So there's so many opportunities to there's really no way if you want to buy an investment property, we can get you an investment property. Like there's
Love
no
it.
problems.
Yeah. So those two programs, I know a lot of times some buildings that are like condo hotels, they're not, they're mostly investors or renters out there. They're not really
Mhm.
owner occupied. So they are a little bit harder to finance, but do those
Yeah,
programs work for that kind of property as well? DSCR
absolutely.
and the statements.
Yes, yes. And there is
Okay.
there so that's a great question because a lot of the conversions, like the condo towels and that type of thing,
Yes. Yeah.
most of your mainstream lenders, they're going to say no, they absolutely can't
Right.
do it. It's a very
Right.
niche property type, but we
Right.
definitely have investors that are willing to lend on that for owner occupied and for investment.
Amazing.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what are those rates looking like? I know it's, probably not as ideal as a normal conventional, but I mean, to have
Hmm.
an investment property, it's kind of worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's how investors get ahead. Investors actually never look at the rate, they look at the bottom line numbers. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you're going to have any investment rate is going to be higher than your normal owner
Right.
occupied rate, anywhere from a half a point to 1.5 points higher, just depending on credit score. Sometimes they still look at credit, even though they're not looking at your income documentation. So, I
Okay.
would prepare, for sometimes of those loans, they could be anywhere from a half a point to 1.5 points higher than your normal conventional owner occupied loan.
Okay. But I mean, a half a
Hmm.
point to it, that's nothing to get into it, a rental
Yeah.
property, an investment property, as long as, you know, the
Hmm.
numbers make sense and you can do it, then it's totally worth
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's all about looking at the numbers. And that's why, like I said, most true investors, they don't look at the rate. They just look at what's the expenses going to be, what's the income going to be, and what's my projection of equity that I'm building. Because the goal for investors is that you keep investing. You're going to build equity, then take that cash out and go buy another property. So
Yeah.
that's how you build your
Well,
portfolio. The
yep.
rates are really irrelevant. Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
Exactly. That's so awesome. Well, I'm
Yeah.
excited to show my clients and, send them over to you and take a look at what that would look like for them.
Yeah. Thank you. Get them in
Great.
contract this week.
Let's
Buy
do
and
it.
invest. Yes.